Ever since GWM released the original Cannon, many people were skeptical on reliability, performance, and the fact that it came from China. I know that's sad to think about, but it's honestly the truth. However, over time, it became increasingly popular. Now with this new 2025 model, have they fixed all the flaws of the pre-facelift version? And is it the best budget-friendly ute on the market today? Well, my name is Salvatore and this is Exhaust Notes Australia, and we are going to find out just that in this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. Pre-facelift, facelift. I'm giving you the best comparison, so I sourced myself a Vanta. Big shout out to my friend Deeps. Thanks, mate. Appreciate you bringing your car along. So I know this is a Vanta and this is an Ultra, but this is all I could source. So what has been changed? Well, with the pre-facelift, you had a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel motor that made 120 kilowatts and 400 newton meters of torque, sent it through a 9-speed ZF transmission and constant all-wheel drive. It does have 4-low and a rear-locking differential. With the 2025 model, priced in at $43,000, $490 on road, you have a new 2.4-litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel motor that produces 135 kilowatts, 480 newton meters of torque, sends it through a 9-speed in-house automatic with the same all 4x4 setup with 4-low and a rear-locking differential. More power, but a little bit more money. Let's now compare the looks. Right, so what's changed at the front? The only thing that is pretty similar on both cars are the front headlights, because the grille and the lower portion of the bumper bars are completely different. To be fair, I think this is a bit more aggressive and menacing. However, this is a bit more refined and a bit more classy, if you can have a classy ute. See, the grille is not so ginormous compared to the pre-facelift version, and the lower portion of the bumper bar has some like nice little vents integrated, even though they're not real. Some of them are, some of them aren't. And it's got like little kind of styling here, where this is just one big piece of plastic with a huge grille, which shows, get out of my way. So, personal preference between the two, but I'm leaning more towards the pre-facelift over the new 2025 model. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. All right, side profile guys. Well, practically, this is where they're almost identical except for one thing. So the flared wheel arches on this look nice. They're very subtle, but they still give it an aggressive stance. On this, however, they decided to put this little, I don't know what that is, kink in it. Like, why? Why not just keep it like that or make it a little bit more aggressive? But other than that, it's pretty much the same. So 18-inch alloy wheels, 18-inch alloy wheels. You've got inbuilt cameras in the door mirrors for your 360-degree camera. Same side steps, sports bar. I know that's a Vanta, so it's got the black one, but still, same sports bar. But nonetheless, pretty much exactly the same down the side. Let's check the rear end because the rear tailgate is a lot different. Right, so they look the same, right, at the back? Well, not really. So, previous pre-facelift version, badge, GWM, that's about it. On the 2025, no more badge. Thankfully, that's gone, and you've got GWM embossed on the rear, and you have 4x4 and 2.4-litre turbo. They still have the very handy step, which is fantastic. The same LED rear tail lights, and that is practically about it, guys. Ground clearance comes in at 232 millimeters. Approach angle comes at 27 degrees and departure angle is at 25 degrees. I want to show you this. So, locked, unlocked. I love that. The tailgate works with the central locking. Thank you, GWM. You get a spray-in tub liner, you get the famous step from the pre-facelift, you get a dampened tailgate, which is really nice. And stepping into the rear here, guys, you have 1,520 millimeters of length, 1,520 millimeters of width, a tub depth of just under 550 millimeters, a payload capacity of just under a ton, and a towing capacity of 3.5 tons thanks to its new 2.4-litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel motor. So this is supposed to be a facelift. I honestly don't think this is a facelift. It honestly feels like a completely new model. Like, I am telling you, this is drastically different over the pre-facelift. It's a completely different car. So here's B-roll right now. There's B-roll happening. This is the pre-facelift. And now more B-roll. This is the 2025 model. Guys, honestly, it is a drastic improvement. I really like this interior. It feels really plush, everything's soft touch. You got like a leatherette finish everywhere, these leatherette finished seats. It's a gorgeous interior. For a ute, it's amazing, like honestly. And I love this steering wheel. Look, the pre-facelift version had a steering wheel that felt at home in a train. This, on the other hand, feels like it should be in a ute. And they've neatly integrated the GWM Cannon logo part of the steering wheel. That's a really neat touch. You got a digital infotainment screen and driver's display. The driver's display is clear, crisp, shows all your data, everything you need. The infotainment screen is fast, responsive, clearer than the pre-facelift version, has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's wireless. You got a wireless phone charger. You got a USB-C, USB-A port. But the biggest problem with that infotainment screen is the fact that its functions are crap. I'm sorry, they need to update it. There are certain things that really frustrate me. For starters, when you're in CarPlay and you want to say, change the heated seat functions, because this has heated and cooled seats, which are awesome, right? The seats get that hot that you feel like you're sitting on a pile of hot coals. I'm not joking. So you hit this heated seat function, it doesn't pop up. You hit the fan speed, it doesn't pop up. What in the hell? So to do that, you need to actually go to the GWM home screen, then press that, and then it pops up. Why doesn't it work in CarPlay? And then there's the fact there's no shortcut button to the home screen. Now, you can preset the button on the steering wheel to set you back to the home screen, but that shouldn't be the case. It should just be a shortcut button right here. And then the other thing is, if you're in CarPlay and you want to turn down the music, you can only do that via the steering wheel. If you have a passenger in the other seat, they have to go back to the home screen, then slide it down, and then adjust the music accordingly. What, like, why is that? Why isn't it just in here? Like, I'm sorry, you had everything perfect, and then you butchered it with this infotainment screen, how it functions. Because it's clear, it's crisp, it works really well. I really do like it, but why? Hopefully they can update that. But the volume control button knob, they should have kept that from the pre-facelift. Coming down here, guys, you have all your 4x4 options, your drive modes. You've got some 12-volt socket buttons because you can like add those. So they've pre-put buttons in there, which is very neat. I really do like that. You only get single zone climate control, just to let you know, for comfort. But like I said, you get heated and cooled seats, a heated steering wheel, which is amazing. The seats are electronically adjustable for the driver. Now, while they are, it doesn't have it can't tilt up the seat, which makes getting comfortable quite annoying. So I wish it did have that. But other than that, the seats are pretty soft. Storage, you've got plenty of room down here. You've actually got a vent down here to cool drinks and whatever other food products you have, which is pretty cool. You slide this forward, you've got two cup holders that are pretty deep, so you can fit a coffee cup in there, but if you put it in the other one, it completely disappears. So that's a shame. The door bins are decently sized. And then you've got all these neat pockets up here to store your keys and stuff. You've got a big enough glove box. You've got a sunglass holder here. And you got a really neat sunroof. Now, many journalists will say this is a very poor sunroof, but to be fair, it does the job, and I think it's okay. It works perfectly fine. I do like the fact that here on the dash, they have the silhouette of the Cannon painted on the dash here, or I don't know, vinyl wrapped onto the dash, but that looks pretty cool. I like that little touch. And what's cool about that is that at night, it illuminates, which looks really cool. Other than that, guys, everything in here was absolutely perfect until that infotainment screen. So please update it, guys. If you do that, then this is a very good package. Let's jump into the rear and see what the second row is like for the kids or your mates. So what's it like in the second row? Well, to be fair, guys, it's not that bad back here. I can stretch my toes underneath the seat in front. I've got plenty of knee room, and my headroom is pretty decent because there's kind of a cutout at the rear here for taller passengers. But Back here, you got pockets, you got your air vents down here, you got 2 USB-A ports, a little pocket down there. You got ISOFIX anchor points on both outboard seats, a center armrest, unfortunately no cup holders, but the door bins are big enough for a flask, so they're pretty convenient. You have top tether points on both outboard seats, and that's pretty much about it. And there's under storage, which is really convenient and really good, because when the tub is full and you need to store more stuff, you can in here when the weather gets bad. Let's take this for a drive and see how this Cannon Ultra performs on a daily drive. All right, so what's it like to live with on a day-to-day basis? Well, let's talk about the suspension, because that is another thing that has been revised over the pre-facelift. They have done some in-house tuning here in Australia to suit our roads. Now, while the suspension is an improvement, it's still not that great. I'm sorry. It's still a bit too firm. If you hit any uneven surfaces or any undulations in the road, it does bounce around a lot, and it just makes the ride very uncomfortable on long journeys. It's a shame. But there are some words down the grapevine that they have hired someone from Australia to fix future generation of GWM products, which is fantastic. Nonetheless, the biggest improvement on this Cannon Ultra has to be its engine. I really do like this 2.4 litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel motor. It's pretty fantastic. You put your foot down, there's plenty of power there, and there's plenty of torque. The one thing that I don't like is this gearbox. Now, while it is a 9-speed, right, and in sport mode, it's pretty good. When it's in eco and comfort and like normal, let's say normal because it's not called comfort, normal, right? It's a bit sluggish, a bit jerky. And then there's a throttle response. You put your foot down, the gearbox is delayed and the throttle response is delayed. It's a bit of a disappointment. Now, hopefully they will take this away and they'll do some improvements, because these two things don't really complement that good 2.4 litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel motor. So, sorry about that. I just have to be honest with you guys. I want to tell you what I think. And they're the two things that are really not really making that engine shine. It handles pretty good, the steering's pretty nice, the brake feels pretty good. In terms of fuel economy, look, they say 8.4, but you'll get around about 9 to 10. Let's be honest, that's what you're going to get. And in terms of safety features, well, you have lane departure warning, lane keeping assist. Speaking of which is frustrating. It's like wrestling a bear, because when that's on, it just constantly darts you back into the lane as soon as it sees a bloody line on the road. But thankfully, you can just slide down on top of the screen and turn it off, which is really handy. If you want to read all the safety features, guys, simply go to my written review, which is in the description below, and you can read the full written review about this GWM Cannon Ultra. But all in all, even though it does have a couple of frustrating things, like the blinker as well, the blinker stalk does my head in. Like, for example, I'm just going to turn it on for you, and then you try to find its happy medium, which is in the middle. It then decides to go left to right, because you can't find the happy medium, because unlike a traditional stalk, which clicks into place, this doesn't, which is frustrating. But like all these things, right, you cannot really fault, because the price is it's just so cheap. It's so cheap. This ute is priced in a category where most hatchbacks and sedans are, like affordable hatchbacks and sedans, and you get a proper 4x4. If you want to buy anything different to this, you're spending, with all the kit that this has, guys, you're spending in the 60s easily. And for that, you kind of ignore all of its little flaws. It's honestly a fantastic budget ute, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for them, because they just keep improving as the years go on, and they're getting better and better and better. And it's just showing, like, it's a great ute. It really is. And that's about it. So, what's my final verdict on the 2025 GWM Cannon Ultra? Well, look, to be fair, while it has certain things that get on my nerves, I cannot look past the fact that it offers so much. And it honestly has improved over the pre-facelift version. The interior is gorgeous. You know, the engine performs really well. Now, while the suspension still needs an update, and while the infotainment screen also needs an update, these things can be fixed along the way. And just how far the Chinese have come ever since they've entered the market is incredible. Just imagine where they're going to be in the next 5 years if this is where they are now. So if you're looking for the best budget-friendly ute on the market today, it has to go to the GWM Cannon, because honestly, I think this is a fantastic ute. It just offers so much for not that much money. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. And again, don't forget to like and subscribe so we can do more reviews like this.